everyone, Rei Moonwuff here, and well, welcome to a new little YouTube series I've been trying to work out. I call this Rei's Rankings. The point of this little series is for me to basically make a top 5, top 10, whatever kind of listing system you want to go with for, well, whatever subject pops into my mind or, well, whatever you guys want me to talk about. Today, well, if you can tell by the plushies behind me, we are talking about Pokemon. So, Pokemon. I've been a fan for, well, ever since Gen 1, and if you can tell from the title of the video, we're talking about my top 5 best and worst of Generation 1. Now my criteria for this series is, at least for Pokemon in general, is going to be the following. Number 1, my thoughts and opinions on Pokemon from Generation 1 and so on are going to be mainly aesthetically oriented. I'm an artist, and so I tend to look at aesthetics a bit more than stats or anything. However, stats are also the other criteria, mainly in terms of competitive viability. You see, I was actually in the competitive circuit of Pokemon from around Gen 4 to about Gen 6 or so, and, well, I got to know the ins and outs of Pokemon's stats, their specialties, what they're good for and what they're not, and that kind of has colored a lot of my previous conceptions of old Pokemon, as well as my thoughts on new Pokemon and the like. I'm probably going to do videos on this for each and every generation, but might as well start with the Gen 1ers. So, the way it's going to go is I'm going to say my 5th worst first, and then I'm going to say my 5th best first, and then we're going to go on and on and on. I don't have any, and then I might do some honorable mentions right before we get to number 1 for both, or dishonorable mentions. So, with that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and talk about my number 5 least favorite Pokemon. Number 5 for the worst is Electrode. Now, there's a few reasons why Electrode is number 5 on my list. One, its design is fucking uninspired. I mean, it's literally just an upside down Pokeball. Look, here's an Electrode right here. Back in Generation 1, it was actually considered one of the fastest Pokemon, and it actually had some decent use in it, mainly an explosion, because what an explosion would do, it would have your defense before inflicting damage. It was basically a one-hit KO for any opponent that encountered it. But following generations nerfed that, and now Electrode can only learn Thunderbolt and Thunder through TMs, which kind of makes it shit in a way. And again, this is kind of why it's number 5 on the list. It had some viability back in the day, but both its look and everything else about it has kind of just gotten a little bit more uninspired over time. It's just, ugh. Number 5 for the best is Mewtwo. Mewtwo, what can I say about this thing? Well, it was the OG best Pokemon you could ever find back in Gen 1. It was basically Psychic types were broken back in Generation 1. Oh boy. I could tell you a few stories about my encounters with Sabrina back in the day, but I'll save that for like a video if I want to ever make a video on like some of my best or worst moments back in the day. So if you like that, let me know. But anyway, back on the topic, Mewtwo, I like its design. It's a little creepy, it's a little sinister. It's basically Mew, but all its attributes and stats have been upgraded and modified and just made into something far more intimidating. I really like it. That said, its design is not my favorite. How do I put this? I guess it's just hard to describe in general. It's just, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just really hard to describe. Like, I like it, but I don't. This is just one of those things that's very subjective. Precious Pokeball. Number 4 for the worst is Parasect. What could I say about Parasect? It's a bug grass type. It's weak to flying, it's weak to fire, it's weak to a whole lot of other stats, and its moveset is just crap. I kind of like the design, the whole idea of the mushroom kind of taking over the body, leaving the body as like a puppeted little husk, which is a neat concept in its own itself, but they didn't go far enough with it in my opinion. To be honest, I would like to see an evolution of Parasect that could utilize some of the stuff. Maybe turn it into a ghost type? Like a bug ghost? That would actually be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that little fella. Like, there's really not much I can say about it. It's crap. The main reason for this one being so high is its move list. It's just, ugh. It's just really bad. Alright then, moving on to number 4 on my best list, we have Gyarados. What's to say about this thing? It's been a staple since Generation 1, and it's going to be a staple until Nintendo finally goes out of business, which odds are will be never. But yeah, Gyarados is a staple, and it actually wasn't as good back in Generation 1 as it is now, because, well, it didn't have that much in the way of movesets, and it was taken out by lightning really, really quickly. That being said, the whole mythology idea of the carp going up and up and up the waterfall until it reaches the top and becomes a big scary dragon is great mythology-wise. Its aesthetics are peak Japanese, Chinese, what have you. They look amazing. Back in Generation 1, it wasn't that good, but as the time went on, it got better and better. It got better movesets. In Generation 2, we got introduced to shiny Pokemon through a Red Gyarados, and that's pretty much where people kind of make it one of their faves. And as generations went on, special physical splits for certain moves just kept making it better and better, until it basically became top tier. Oh boy. It is pretty much one of the best Pokemon out there in terms of pure physical strength. It will blast you into the ground. Although the electric stuff is still its biggest weakness, which is probably for the best because, oh boy, I'm having flashbacks to Sibold. That fucking Gyarados wiped me out because I didn't have anything to deal with it. Yeah. So as you can see, Gyarados is pretty good. You probably can't find a better Pokemon out there, for the most part, but there are better Pokemon, in my opinion. But now, we need to do number 3 on the worst list, and that is Magmar. Ugh. This thing is an aesthetic nightmare. Oh boy. Like, what the fuck is it supposed to be? A dragon? A chicken? And what the fuck is up with its head? I feel like I need to be censoring this video. Like, it has some nostalgia for it, for like the anime back in the day with Ash's Charizard fighting against it for Blaine's Fire Badge. But it's just never been a good design. It feels like they just kind of slapped a whole bunch of different things on it. Like, I can't even figure out all the things. Like, what's the fuck with its arms? Is it supposed to be like a flamenco dancer or something? What? And not only that, it's actually pretty fragile. Like, it's got some decent power behind it, don't get me wrong, but you do one water gun in it and it's fucking down the hole. Oh boy. Like, its evolution did give it some better looks, in my opinion, maybe, but to be honest, like, the whole line just looks like crap to me. Oh, and if you need another excuse as to why this Pokemon is pretty crap, his Japanese name is Boober. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. Boober. Going on to number 3 on the good list, we have Dragonite. Classic dragon Pokemon, the only one back in Generation 1. I know some people kind of prefer Dragonair for the sleek and shiny elegance of it all, but look at this big goofer. Look at this big stoopy smile on it. It's just adorable. Tell me you wouldn't want to hug this thing. Although you'd probably be crushed by it given how big it actually is. But yeah, Dragonite has always been a powerful Pokemon, and it's only gotten better as time's gone on, kind of like Gyarados. Like, I just kind of love the cute, hairy-shaped body of it. It's just so soft and huggable, and the movesets of it have gotten better and better over time. It didn't have, like, there weren't that many dragon moves back in Generation 1, but as time went on, more moves have become available for it, and it's actually become pretty viable, all in all. And then when Generation 5 came out, hidden abilities became a thing, and it learned, I believe it was multi-scale or marble scale. I forget which one it was. I'll have to, it'll be right here if I fucked it up. Basically, its hidden ability would allow it to take a super effective hit at half damage for the first time. And basically, it would allow you to tank a hit, maybe recover, and then wipe the floor with the opponents, which was pretty nice. This thing's pretty powerful all in all, and it is probably one of the more adorable Pokemon on this list. Moving on to number 2 on the list of worst Pokemon, we have Hypno. Okay, so for starters, the nose look, no-go. The whole thing about this Pokemon, the only gimmick it has is the whole hypnosis Dream Eater shtick, and it's supposed to be based off of a Japanese yokai, but there's so much creepy hidden connotation about this thing thanks to the fan base and stuff, and even in the Pokedex entries itself, just luring away little children, it just, no. This thing is just, pure aesthetically, it is just awful, and the hidden connotations behind it were just, I don't really have much to say about it other than, Moving on. Let's move to the next one. Okay, I'm good. Maybe. Moving on to number 2 on my best list, we have Gengar. Oh boy, the classic ghost Pokemon. It is awesome. It was one of my favorites during the anime, just how malicious and how tricky it is, just in terms of looks and aesthetics. And while I never did actually have it back in Generation 1 in the games, it was pretty awesome, and it just got better and better as time went on, kind of like the other ones. Ghost type was a physical move back in Generation 2, but once Generation 4 came by and that whole rigmarole got fixed, it actually became one of the best Pokemon out there. And of course, its ability Levitate made it fucking immune to ground type moves. It became an all-around amazing Pokemon to have on your party. You have no idea how hot I am in this thing. But yeah, Gengar became more and more powerful as time went on. In fact, it became so powerful, in fact, that it actually had to get nerfed post-Generation 4 and 5 because it no longer had its Levitate ability and it now has Curse Body. However, despite losing that awesome boon, it still is pretty powerful. It's just kind of amazing in a way. Also, I want to have a plushie of it, but as you can tell from my room, I'm starting to run out of room. Okay, we're down to number 1, ladies and gentlemen. One for the worst and one for the best. To be honest, I guess I should give a few dishonorable mentions for the worst Pokemon in Generation 1. To be honest, there aren't that many, but I'll list off a few. Execute is uninspired, Mr. Mime creeps me the heck out, and Magneton is literally just 3 of the same things stuck together. This seems to be a running theme with Pokemon in Generation 1. A lot of the things are kind of either uninspired or they're literally just item with googly eyes on it. Although that trend tends to still happen even in the later generations, so But yeah, now, oh god, number 1 on the worst list is just as bad as number 2 in a way. I was torn between number 1 and number 2, because, oh boy, like, at least this one I could probably talk a bit more rationally and coherently. Number 1, for the worst Pokemon in Generation 1, is Jinx. Do I really need to say anything else? But I guess I should explain myself. Like, it was a decent Pokemon stat-wise, and it was a Psychic type, which was decent. However, back in the first gen, you could only get one of them through like a trade or something. You couldn't get it anywhere else in any of the generations. And, like, do I even need to explain why Jinx is on this list? There is so much, like, yikes just from the OG look of it that they had to actually recolor it. Hell, it's only been in 5 episodes of the anime, and one of them was banned! Oh, God. Yeah, like, I really don't need to explain myself, do I? Jinx sucks! But yeah, with the worst Pokemon out of the way, let's go ahead and give some honorable mentions to my favorite Pokemon. Some honorary mentions include Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I love these both because they both have a very nice look to them. They are pretty powerful in all honesty, and their hidden ability makes them surprisingly viable in some teams if you ever want to use them. But I had some cuter Pokemon that I wanted to add to my list. For those who actually do know me, you'll be surprised to not see... Yeah, get over here. Raichu on my honorable mentions. And, well, that's because Raichu really didn't get very good until Alola. I actually got like 3 of these little fuckers. I love them. Yeah. But yeah, like, until Raichu got its Alolan form, it really wasn't all that viable. Like, it's still one of my favorite Pokemon, but if it was just a bit more competitively viable, it would have been a lot better in my opinion. But now, on to number 1. And well, number 1 happens to be Vaporeon. So, what's there to say about this little blue doof? Well, for starters, if you couldn't tell from my shirt, I have a thing for the evolutions. Hell, I kind of look like an Eevee in a way. Just one with big blue paws. But yeah, Vaporeon. Pet. Vaporeon is, all in all, a physical tank. It's got high HP, it's got high stats to back up its health, and it can just tank anything and everything pretty much that isn't electric or grass for the most part. But even then, it can still hold its own for a little while. Vaporeon in general is just an amazing Pokemon. Like, it's cute, it's sleek, it's just soft and adorable, and pet. Keep wanting to pet this thing for some reason. I'm just a sucker for the evolutions. What can I say? Yeah, that pretty much was it for my list. Like, I don't really have much else to say. That's kind of what I thought were my best and my worst for that generation. Now, of course, these are only my opinions. I should have probably stated that before, like at the start of the video. But these are my opinions. I don't invalidate anyone else's. If you've got your own list of favorites and worsts, please let me know in the comments. I really want to hear what you think are the best and the worst from Generation 1. Now, with that being said, I don't really have that much else to say. So, I hope you all enjoyed this little video. I know this is wasn't exactly what I had planned to do initially with the channel as my first proper fursuit video, but I hope you all enjoyed it. And, well, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what I can improve, what needs fixing, and what you liked about the video. Please be sure to share it with anyone and everyone who you think might enjoy this. It really would help me out. But I guess that's really all I have to say. So, until next time, this has been Rei Moonwuff, signing out. Later guys, and have a good day. Bye!